Let's look at an example of a while loop. Oftentimes, we don't know the number of times a loop is executed. We may enlist the use of what's called a sentinel value. A sentinel value is essentially a constant or a unique value that you would use to indicate a state in a software. This state could be the ending of a loop, could be the termination of a function call, or it could be a signal for redirecting the flow of control to another part of a software system. Let's write a program that reads and calculates the sum of an unknown number of integers. This is done in a while loop. We'll have a sentinel value of 0 to signify the end of the input. In other words, the user will keep entering an integer one at a time while the program continues to iterate through every single number by computing its global summation value until the user finally enters a 0, which terminates the program. This global sum is then system out print line to the console prior to closing the scanner and the applications in general. So let's write this program in an IDE from scratch. The very first thing we need to do is to import our standard input called scanner so that we can make use of it. Let's get rid of this entire system out print line and start off from here. So our application is going to be inside this main console. Scanner equals new scanner. This is how we instantiate our system in. So your application is ready to listen to any signal coming in, including what user types. So right now we're going to set up two variables. One of them is our global summation, which is going to start with a value of 0. The second variable will be the integer input number. Let's just say input from the user. Again, we're going to set a default value for this input. Technically, this default value could be anything, but you don't want this to be a positive value because that's what user is going to enter. Let's start up with constructing our while loop. We will start with while. Now, until the condition indicates otherwise, we would like to continuously allow our users to enter a value until we get a sentinel value from that scanner. We can separate this by having a while true. This is an infinite loop, so we need to be really careful with it. The condition for breaking out of the loop needs to happen. First, let's get our scanner in from our user. So whatever the user enters is what's going to be caught and sent into input. If input equals 0, this is a relational expression, then we want to break. This means exit the loop or stop executing the loop if input from user is 0. Remember, 0 is our chosen sentinel value in this case. Otherwise, we would like to have our summation be concatenated with respect to the input values received from the user. Let's annotate this. So this entire while loop will continue, and the user will continuously enter an integer. As long as that integer or input is not 0, we'll add it to a summation. We'll break out of this execution when sentinel value equals 0. Meanwhile, the summation variable is global to this while loop, which means upon exiting this while loop, we'll have the total summation that we should print to the console per the problem. And remember, it is always a good practice to close the pipe when you're done. Notice that this scanner.close is also the very last statement inside this entire main. So either you close the scanner or not, the flow of control is going to exit this main anyway, forcing the scanner to close. But as a best practice, always remember to close the scanner after using it, regardless of where we are. This is for better coding practice. Let's look at what this evaluates to. Let's compile and run it. We're presented with the prompt. There's no system out print line, so we just need to enter a number. Let's say 12, enter, and 13, enter. Remember, every single one of these input will be added to the summation. You can also have a negative number, a really large number, a really small number. Let's hit that sentinel value 0, enter. As soon as this 0 is detected right here at line 20, it breaks the entire while loop. Remember the keyword break. Breaks out of the immediate looping structure, which is this entire while loop from line 18 to 24. Presented us with this system out print line with the value sum. This illustrates a simple summation console application making use of a while loop and sentinel value. We'll look at more examples next.